Hello, hello. So these are the shortcuts that I use, and I'm going to show how I use these shortcuts. Well, actually, I'm not going to animate, but actually going around the software and moving the characters around to discover those shortcuts because are in my mind. Of course, there was a time that I set up all of those, but right now are just in my mind. So, for example, right now when I flip from frame to frame, I press Alt A to go backwards and Alt D to go forwards. So those will be the main ones. I'm going to list all of these shortcuts here on the right, and I'll have Alt plus A is flip backwards, flip back, and plus B will be flip forward. And this is a shortcut forward. These are shortcuts that I combined some concepts that I learned from the 3D workshop that I was doing. So the 3D workshop that I was doing, I had like different mentors, and each mentor have like different shortcuts. And not only that, inside of these workshops, there were a lot of all the other workshops from all the different mentors that were around in these 3D workshops. They opened all of those modules for everyone to look at all those mentors' classes. So it was super cool because I joined one of those mentors from other classes, and this is so important. Why it's important to also look for stuff in YouTube and stuff like that, because before applying from one of these workshops, before applying from one of these 3D workshops, I first looked for those mentors online, and I looked from who is these people, where these people work, what's the story of these people. And I had the option to choose between three mentors in one of the workshops that I was doing. And I look at all of those three in YouTube, and not only that, I also watch the podcast of each one of them just to get to know them and being like, you know what, I would love to learn from this person. And even though I didn't choose one of those, it was super interesting what I hear on one of his podcasts, and is that he used to work in DreamWorks his entire life until he went to work for Bungie is the name. Well, he worked in Destiny, and when he went to work on Destiny, the video game, he found out that the other people around him were super, 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 super fast, and because they set up all the keyboard shortcuts to be on the left side of the keyboard. And he was stubborn. He didn't want to change his feature animation keyboard until someday he was like, okay, you know what, yeah guys, you're super fast, let me know the tricks. And they changed completely their keyboard shortcuts and all of that, and it was amazing because it was super fast. Coincidences of the world, these shortcuts that he set up are also very similar to the first shortcuts that I learned, that I started using here on my Toon workflow, which are from Matt Watts, who is one of my mentors. And yeah, I learned from him in 2021 how to rig, and I learned a lot from him, a lot from the technical stuff that I am applying right now at my short film. So feel free to visit his YouTube channel. He have a lot of crazy good videos. So this is a combination between math shortcuts and the 3D shortcuts that I collected from my mentors, and I have these shortcuts that I feel like I'm playing Call of Duty every time that I use these shortcuts. It's like I'm super fast, and I hope that this will help you too. And let me know if this works. Let me know if this works. And if you don't want to copy and do this manually setting up all your shortcuts, you send me a DM through Instagram, and I will send you the files, the exported files, because I can come here and being like file. Now it's like here keyboard shortcuts, and I can come here and go export. Yeah, I can export this, and then eventually I can send it to you. So there you go. See, let's see, I think Madwats 2. So I just named those like the same Madwats, but I added the 2 because I don't want it to alter the original ones that he had. But in these two, I started applying the other shortcuts that I had from these other mentors. So Alt A and Alt D. Alt A, I'm going backward. Alt D, I'm going forward. Because my workflow is combining frame by frame animation and canon animation, and I love to draw a lot on top of the frames, like I do here, for example. I also set up my keyboard shortcuts to work for frame by frame animation too. So for example here, I mark a new frame here. So in order to create a new blank drawing, I press H. H to create a new blank drawing. Should I put 2 points here? Yes, 2 points will be good. Boom. So H to create a new blank drawing like I did here. H, boop, new blank drawing. And the thing is like, For me, what the heck is happening? For me, oops, what the, oh, I am adding frames on an image layer. That's horrible. So from here, age, new blank drawing. I can extend exposure. Also, I can press F5 to extend exposure. I will not write that down because that's a normal keyword from. Let's write it down. So F5 extend F5 extend exposure. What the heck happened with H? H create new blank. Oopsie, new blank. Oopsie, blank drawing. Also, and when I go here, I press A and D to flip between my drawing layers. Oh, you cannot see it. Oopsie. I press A and D to flip between my drawing layers. So the only change that I do, I'm doing this to flip in traditional, and when I'm going to work in cutout, I just press Alt, or I think in yeah, in Windows is Alt, in Mac is Option. So I am flipping like this in traditional, and when I go to cutout, I just poop, I just press with this thumb the Alt or the Option button, and then I just click A and B, and then I flip in cutout. Look at how this looks. Here, tradition, cutout, and then here, frame by frame, and I'm just doing this or this, this or this, and I'm super fast, super fast. So I'm going to put here like A, flip forward, but I'll put traditional. I'll put like traditional flip forward, traditional flip forward, and in this way I don't have to go back and forward in changing like, oh, right now I'm going to work on traditional, then I'll change my setup of Toon Boom into traditional shortcuts. No, I never change my shortcuts according to the approach that I'm taking animation. I'm just using pressing extra buttons, and that's it. Traditional flip forward. Cool. There you go. We're going good. We're going good. Now here, let's go to twinning. For example, here, if I want to break the twin here, if I press E, if I press E, I twin between my key my frames. So E is to twin. Twin is a concept that we used to call it in 3D, like when I was doing my 3D workshops. It's like, yeah, let's go to twinning. Let's go to twin. Here in Toon Boom, I don't know what's the name, and I don't know how to find these shortcuts on the keyboard shortcuts menu. So that's why I'm just doing this super friendly. And if you really want this as soon as possible, send me a DM on this on Instagram, and I'll send you this. So E, twin, and twin means like I create this. I create this. See how this line appears here? That line means like, see, if I am scrolling here, nothing happens. Where the moment that I press E, I start twinning here. So this frame goes to this another frame. Yeah, and it looks awful because that's cutout animation how it looks when we don't put the love in the frames in the middle. That's why I love to draw on top, so I can put a lot of attention in each breakdown. And also the twins, I leave the twins for Toon Boom. Toon Boom help me on the twins. There are some tricks, but I also show those tricks, those tricks while I am showing how I animate the scenes of my short film. So hope that helps. Even look at where's the eye of this dude. So E is to twin, and if I press Shift E, I break that twin. So Shift plus E, break the twin. Also, Shift and E, break the twin. Or I can flip here AD, Shift Alt AD to flip between these two. And look, for example, of course, in my I finish designing my key poses. Awesome. I want to twin. Poop E, and look at where my eyes are. Like poop A, poop poop. I want to flip. Boom 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 boom. And everything is in here. I'm like this, like this. I'm like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. That's it. So from here to here, A, Alt D, back and forward, back and forward. E to twin, Shift E to break the twin. Amazing, super cool. Now another thing that I use is, let's talk about drawing tools because that's huge. When I press W, immediately my brush tool appears. And this will depend a lot in what are the things that you're doing the most. Are you doing the most rigging or are you doing the most animation? In my case, what I do the most is animation. So if I were to do rigging, I will set up the pencil to be my main tool when I press W. So W is my brush tool or my pencil tool. I used to rig a lot before. So that's on that time, my W key, my main brush keyboard shortcut was the pencil directly. So when I press W, it takes me directly to my brush or pencil tool. You decide which one you want. And Henry, what you want? What is the thing that you like the most? Like for rigging, I use the pencil tool. For drawing and for animation, I use the brush tool. So for my rough pass, I use the brush tool. For my tie down, I use the brush tool. And even sometimes when I need to design some new frames here, for example, this is the brush, and this is the brush. And the only thing that I'm looking for when I'm adding this new drawing is to match the same line thickness with the line thickness of the rig, and that's it. So sometimes I also use the brush on my rigs. And there you go. So W, brush or pencil. Let's go. If I press V, with V, it's like the select tool, the black arrow, the black arrow. If I press, no, I don't have set up this. I think I don't have set up. This is super important also when doing rigging. And I used to have a shortcut for that that was A, but I have to sacrifice this shortcut of this tool in order for me to use my frame by frame animation on that A, because that's the thing that I do the most. If you're a rigging artist, I'll highly recommend having this as a shortcut. I don't use it too much, and when I need to use it when rigging, I just select it manually. The cutter, that's super huge important. So the cutter, when I hold T, so I'm going to put here in brackets like holding T is the cutter, and the cutter is really useful and is really important, especially when I need to design frames. For example, when I need to design hands or whatever, if I am using this tool, for example, and I'm designing here a shape, I hold. Look at this cursor here. How it turns from this circular point into a lasso tool. When I hold T, this turns into a lasso tool without deselecting my brush tool, meaning that only when I hold T, this transforms into a cutter, and I can come here and cut all of these extra lines. And then I release the T, and then it goes back to this cursor, and then I can keep drawing inside of all of this stuff. There you go. So it's super important, super important, especially for doing cleanup. This is huge and it's super fast. Another thing, now that I mentioned cleanup, if I press M, I go to the paint bucket tool, and then I can fill all of these with color. So the shortcut M is to fill color. Color. Awesome. What else do I use in this crazy software? W, V, A to flip, D, and when I'm coming here to cut out animation, Alt A, Alt B, I can cut these, or Command C and Command V to copy and paste frames. But I think that's intuitive. I think Command Z. I don't even know how to Command Z or Command D. What the heck I'm doing? Command Z, Command V. Copy and paste. Oopsie. Copy and paste frames. Awesome. Let me see if I have some. Oh, amazing! Another shortcut that I remember here. So another shortcut, for example, I want to make some changes on this layer here. I press G, and I can immediately find this layer inside of the node view. And if I need to do some changes here, I do some changes here. Same thing here. If I select this layer and I go here inside of my timeline and I press G, boom! I immediately found the drawing layer here. And I feel if I go up in the hierarchy of this piece and I press G, it goes directly to the peg. So depending if you're selecting only the drawing or the peg, if you press G here, it will immediately take you to either the drawing layer or the peg. So that's huge. That's huge. That's huge. Cool. So let's write it here again. So that will be G. G will look for the selected layer. I haven't changed these keywords in a while, so I don't know how these crazy things works here. So that's why I'm writing here and putting this in a very rough language for everyone to understand what is the main idea of these shortcuts. What else do we need here? Bam, bam. Let me see. Let me move these a little bit. Let me move some stuff a little bit here. Oh yeah, if I press B, I go up in the hierarchy. B to go up in the hierarchy. Hierarchy. I hope I spelled it correctly. What this means? Means that, for example, if I go, oops, if I go here and I press B, look at what happened here in the node view. If I press B, right now I'm selecting the peg of the head. If I press B again, I'm selecting the master peg of the head. Let's go again. If I select here the head, I'm selecting the drawing layer. If I press B, I'm selecting the peg. If I'm selecting B again, I'm going up, up, up in the hierarchy. From the drawing, selecting the peg, and again up on the peg, the next peg. So I'm going up in the hierarchy of the rig until I select all of this. See, right now I'm selecting not only this, but I'm getting out of this head group of the rig, and I'm selecting the head plus the neck. I'm going to press B again, and boom, press G to find where is the thing that I'm selecting, and oh wow, I'm selecting the upper body. I press B again, I press G again, and what I'm selecting, I'm selecting the master pick of the entire rig. That's amazing. That's how you go up in the hierarchy of the rig. Go up in the hierarchy. Now another thing that I think I have here, but I almost never use, is that if I press Shift B, I go down in the hierarchy. So you see, for example, I start here in the forearm, then I go up here in the upper arm, then I go into selecting both arms, and then go into selecting all the body. But if I press Shift and B, I start going down where I started. Boom, boom, boom. So I can go up. Okay, pull. I move something here. I want to go here to move the arm. Amazing. So there you go. Now I'm pressing these buttons. But to be honest, I never go down in hierarchy. I just select that thing again. But I write it here for you. I will write this here for you so you can be aware of that thing. Shift plus B will go down in the hierarchy. Amazing. Let me keep moving stuff to see if I figured out something that I'm not forgetting. These are like the only things that I use. These are the only amazing deformers. Command Shift and D. Command Shift and D. So we were pressing Alt and D to flip in cutout, right? If I just move my thumb to the side and I press Command and with my pinky press Shift and with my index finger press D, it's like a plack, plack, plack. Immediately I select all the deformers. Look at this. I'm here, right? I am flipping here. I'm going up in the hierarchy with B, and then Alt and B, Alt A, Alt B to going back and forward, and then I move my thumb to the right. I move up my pinky finger to the Shift, and I press D to select the deformers of each part of the body. Boom, boom, boom. So I can move stuff. I can move stuff. Let's see this in real time. I can move stuff, boom, 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 and boom, deformers immediately if I need to move deformers. So Command Shift and D, Command plus Shift plus D equals select deformers or reveal deformers, something like this. Select reveal deformers. I'll put a slash reveal. Select reveal deformers. Now you know what? Let's reveal deformers. I think that is the thing that describes the most. And now, how can I stop seeing the deformers here from here to here? I think there is a shortcut for that. I don't have a shortcut for that. But the only thing is, like, for example, I don't want to see the deformers of that thing anymore. That's the laundry. I don't want to see the deformers of that arm anymore. I just click on another layer. It's like when you're painting and you have colors and your brush and you don't want that color anymore and you just go and put in the water and then you again put color again and you start painting it. I don't know if that's true. I don't know how to paint, but but the same thing. It's like I press this. I press Command Shift D to reveal the deformers. I press outside. When I press outside, it's like when I am putting my brush in water. I press again Command Shift D and those things stop being revealed there. When I come here, press Command Shift D. I reveal here. I want to reveal the other ones. I press Command Shift D and I'm revealing the next ones. So I go here, boom, boom, Command Shift D, 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 Command Shift D. Of course, if I Shift select more than one part and I press Command Shift D, I reveal the deformers of all of these pieces. Then I press Command D. Oh no, I think. Oh yeah, yeah. Command D is my shortcut to erase stuff. So any stuff you delete and everything with Command D. So when you press Command plus D, you delete the stuff. You delete everything like frames. You delete frames. You delete drawings. You delete notes also. You also delete notes when I press all of those. So I don't have shortcuts for all of these other tools here, but these are super useful and are things that I use almost all the time, which is this tool that I can use to delete this frame here or just to stop seeing this frame. I'm not deleting, I'm stop seeing this frame here. Pap. Or this one that is duplicate. I'm duplicating the same drawing over here. Those are very useful tools that I use, but I just keep it here. I just keep it here. I don't need shortcuts for that. I don't need to overcomplicate my shortcuts. The simple that I have my shortcuts, the better for me. The easiest for me to just enjoy the animation process. It's all about being able to put all the technical nerdy stuff aside for us to being able to enjoy the animation process. We have to get to this point in which we get lost into this flow state of just animating, drawing, and experiencing what the character is doing, what the character is performing, and not thinking like where are my shortcuts, where are these tools. So as soon as possible, we have to get rid of those limitations so we can enjoy the animation process. And for me, I have everything that I need here. Everything that I need here. Boop. I recently changed my tablet into an iPad, so I'm not using my Wacom anymore because I love moving around with my iPad and not having cables around. So now I have to just click some extra stuff to reveal those things that otherwise on my Wacom I'll see completely. But dude, I love just working on my iPad. And if you want to know how to connect your iPad as a second monitor, just put in TikTok how to connect your iPad with your MacBook Pro. I think the Apple environment works perfectly for that, and I really enjoy even the image quality that I can see here on my iPad is very beautiful compared to other tablets, and it's super portable. And I can just flip here, poop, pull this up, and then go back to my iPad features. Awesome. I cannot think about anything else to be honest. Yeah. Then the advanced animation tools, the pivot. No, I think that's everything that I use to be honest. Command Shift D, everything. I press outside, Command Shift D, anything happens. Shift Alt A, Alt B to move back and forward. And there you go. That's I think all we need. Opa, 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 opa. No, 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 no. Amazing, amazing. So, if you press W, if you press W, if you press W on the timeline, hover timeline. I'm going to be here like hover timeline. I think hover means when I think I'm correct. Hover means when you have your cursor on top of each of these windows. So when you press W when you are hovering on top of your timeline, you delete keyframes but no drawings. You delete keyframes but not drawings. If you want to delete keyframes and drawings, see, if I press W, I delete the keyframe. See how it moves? I delete this keyframe. If I press Command D, I delete keyframes and drawings. So super important to differentiate that. And look at how when I come here to with my pen towards the camera view, there is a red line surrounding this interface around here. And when I come here, boom, this red line is around this timeline. So that means like when I am moving my cursor around these two windows, even the node view here, the, my shortcuts will change according to where I am hovering right now, where I'm on top of right now. So when I am here with this red box around my timeline, I can press W to delete frames. When I am here on my camera view, when I press W, I go to my brush tool immediately. That's really important. And if you don't have set up that characteristic of hovering on top of the things, let me see if I have the lock to find how that 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 looks like. General camera. Help me find. Can you see where is the hover tool, guys? Can you see it? I'm Dora right now. The snap frames, editors, or reply. Focus on mouse enter. This is the tool that you have to enable in order to hover over these windows, and it will change the shortcuts that you have according to that. Also, Also, if you want to copy the preferences that I have, I can even send you my preferences. Just take captures of all of this. Captures. There you go, another one. Capture. These are times the preferences that I use, and it's just giving me the best time ever animating. Don't ask me anything about this. I have no idea. And if you ask me something, I have to put my glasses, which I don't use, to consider myself a technical dude and trying to explain you stuff that I don't even understand. But here you are. If you just want to start animating, copy and paste these preferences, and yeah, it works for me. I make cool, badass animations with this. There you go. Hope this helps. Those are my preferences. These are my keyboard shortcuts. Feel free to also take a screenshot if you would like to set up those manually, or if you want me to send you the files that I can export so you can just import this and start animating as soon as possible, send me a DM through Instagram like Isabel did, and this is a video for Isabel. Thank you very much for reaching out. I really appreciate that, and I feel like that's the way of we animators, of we artists we build connections here in the industry, outside the industry. Just the community of animators being able to reach out for help is huge, and I am able to enjoy animation and have fun animating and making these videos and just enjoy the process of making animations, because since I start my animation career, I reach out for help a lot. And I was never afraid of just asking for help, of just asking for support. And I was happy that most of the time, all of the people that I asked for support, they were there for me, and I will always remember them dearly. There you go. Hope this helps. I have no idea if I'm using any other keyboard shortcut. I think I am not, but if I am, I will let you know. I'll let you know because yeah, this is everything that I use. Oh, there you go. The rest is manually. The rest is just moving stuff manually around the interface and around the stuff. There you go. Hope this helps, guys. And if you have any questions, if you would like to have, if you would like me to make a video for you in a specific subject, feel free to reach out. As I mentioned, we're here, happy to help in this world. Okay. See you next time. Bye bye.